Hi, so I'm going to be reflecting on the feeding challenge that we had today. So having someone feed you a spoonful of food, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to feel very demeaning, but it wasn't. I think that's also because the person who was doing it, I trusted. So I can imagine that the experience would be a lot different if it's someone that you don't really know that well. Also, it did hit my teeth a bit, but she also isn't trained on how to feed people. So I can also understand the importance of having someone who's certified, trained, specialized in feeding, only do the feeding so that you don't have any issues like that. Eating a cracker or a dry item and thinking about what's happening in my mouth. I never really thought about things like that before, but I had some dry Cheerios, and I did notice that, you're crushing it down, and then it's until like kind of like a dust, and then your saliva forms the dust into kind of more a solid little ball, and then you swallow it. So I tried eating the Cheerios with a spoon with only one hand, and I wasn't able to get a whole lot onto it, and I spilt them a little bit, so it was difficult. And then I tried again with the honey, and they did stay on better, sometimes a little too well. And it was a lot different in my mouth because the honey, the Cheerios were dissolving into the honey, and it made it a lot smoother going down. Instead of having something kind of rough in your mouth, the honey made it so that it was just a better experience overall. And having someone try to give me a drink of water, I kind of did the opposite of what we were supposed to do, because I know we're supposed to use a clear cup, but I didn't do that because it felt fitting to use a mason cup. And she really struggled with giving me a drink. The second time she wasn't even able to get anything in, which now I really understand why it's so important to have a clear cup if you're trying to give someone a drink. It also just wasn't as efficient as it would have been to just do it myself. Drinking something thicker and thinking about the differences, it felt a lot heavier going down. It was a very interesting experience, but it felt kind of like the honey. It just kind of felt like it went down smoother in a way, but also felt very heavy, and I didn't really like that feeling. Eating a spoonful of food while your head is tilted backwards or off to the side. I don't know for sure if this was what we were supposed to experience, but it felt like a lot rougher. It felt like there was a lot, it kind of felt like I was going to choke. So I understand why it is important to make sure that you're not feeding someone from like a super high level so that their head's not tilted up, because I really had to put a lot of effort into swallowing. And usually I'm not used to having to feel that. So that is my summary of my experience that I had. It was very, very interesting.